Hey, what's up guys? This is 9Lives coming at you with the first episode of my Sniper Secret series for Call of Duty Modern Warfare. In this first episode, we're going to be breaking down 5 sniper secrets that make a huge difference with aggressive quick scoping playstyles in Call of Duty Modern Warfare. If you aren't already, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss future episodes of this series. And without further ado, let's get into it. So the AX50 and the HDR are the 2 high damage sniper rifles in Modern Warfare that you're going to be able to get the most one-shot kills with. I wanted to do a little bit more analysis on the 2 of them and see how they really stack up when you get all the best attachments on, and ultimately how well each of them would do taking out multiple enemies, so the time between shots, the fire rate, as well as the scope in speed, so how long it takes to get that initial shot off if you see an enemy in front of you. After that, we'll get into the best class setups, some tips on how to spot enemies more quickly and easily, and we'll also talk about dealing with campers as a sniper. So first up, we're going to test the fire rate of the AX50. Basically what I've done here is I've taken it into a private match. I've shot as fast as I possibly could, spamming that R2 button on my PS4 controller to get those bullets out as fast as possible. And then through the use of my editing software, I'm able to see exactly how many seconds and milliseconds it took between the shots. The slower the fire rate, the more you're going to have to hang back as a sniper and the less aggressively you can play. So the marksman rifles actually do pretty well on this stat, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. The AX50 has 1.535 seconds between shots here, and we'll compare that to the HDR. In the next episode of Sniper Secrets, we'll bring out the Dragunov, the MK2, and the Kar98K and add those to the mix, where you're going to be trading off a lot of damage and you're going to be getting a lot more hit markers in favor of the higher fire rate. But we'll see exactly what those fire rates look like, how they compare to each other, and what the scope and speeds are like as well in that next episode. So make sure you're subscribed if you want to see that. Let's have a look at the HDR here. 1.752 seconds between shots in my testing. That's the fastest reading I was able to get for fire rate out of all those shots. And that means that the AX50 is a whopping 14% faster between shots. So right there, we know that the AX50 is going to be capable of taking out more enemies in less time due to the 14% faster fire rate, which is very helpful. But what about the fastest scope in time out of the 2? Scope in time is going to be for that initial shot that you're taking. If you're running around the map, you spot an enemy and you're taking that initial shot. And it's also relevant if you're seeing multiple enemies, but they're not coming at you so fast that it's maxing out your fire rate. So that would be a limiting factor. Now for the scope and speed of the AX50, the reading I got was 0.350 seconds to scope in. And you'll see me take the rest of my shots here and then walk up to the target to make sure they're all landing. The reason I did that is because I realized that you can actually shoot about a frame or 2 early before your scope fully settles in and it'll still go straight. I have a few outtakes that are not going to be used in this video where I was trying to really push that scope in speed and get the shot off as fast as possible. And there's a few cases where the bullet actually missed the target because I shot too early and it didn't go straight. But you can shoot about 2 frames or so in this game before the scope fully settles in. You can see here all 5 bullets did land on this take. I was really pushing it, and I think the previous take, not all 5 bullets landed. So that's why I went up to check to make sure that, yeah, that 0.350 time is the fastest I think you can get with the AX50. Once we compare that time to the HDR's time, we'll move on to class setup so you guys can see what I would recommend for perks and attachments and whatnot. The HDR though gets a 0.417 seconds to scope in, and that definitely is longer than what we saw with the AX50. Again, I did a bunch of takes. That was the fastest I got. And the AX50 is 19% faster to scope in. So that means the AX50 has not only a 19% faster scope in speed, but also a 14% faster fire rate than the HDR. So I think the choice is pretty clear. The AX50 is much more powerful for quick scoping, aggressive sniping than the HDR. Both sniper rifles were tested using the best attachments to increase scope and speed, and I think we should probably have a look at what those are. So let's get into the attachments and perks that I'd recommend. Now, just a heads up, I definitely do love to run overkill. You may have noticed by watching some of the clips throughout this video that I'm often switching between the sniper and an SMG that I've got on my back that I whip out if I'm getting into a close quarter situation or if I miss a shot or something like that. Just like right here, I missed my first shot, switch to the MP7, clear him out. And back over here, we got a close quarter situation, hip fire with the MP7. So it comes in very, very handy, and I switch back to the sniper when I have a little bit more space between myself and my enemy. I really do like to use the MP7 as my secondary because you can ADS and strafe quite quickly. You can also hip fire and strafe quite quickly. And the mobility is just the highest on the MP7 out of any of the other SMGs available to you. So I really like that. I really like how quickly you can move around while you're spraying it. And it makes for an exciting playstyle, in my opinion, that I enjoy. Now, here are the attachments for my AX50. They're all the speed attachments, so just anything that makes you scope in faster. Also got the sleight of hand for the faster reload as well. And then you can see my MP7 here has, again, just stuff that helps with mobility, stuff that helps with movement. I find it so much more fun to play this game when you can move around quickly, when you can aim in quickly, when you can strafe quickly, all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of the philosophy I've built that class around. And that's probably the class that I use the most is an AX50 swapping over to an MP7 occasionally. I'd also recommend trying out using a marksman rifle or another sniper rifle as your secondary, whether that's like the Kar98 as your secondary, or maybe you could use even the HDR as your secondary, or something like that, where, you know, instead of reloading when you're in the middle of a clip, you could just swap over to your secondary sniper rifle and keep going. So I wanted to just remind you guys that in the next episode, we are going to be going in depth into the Kar98K, the MK2, and the Dragunov. So make sure that you subscribe if you're not already, so that you can see that next episode of Sniper Secrets. And now let's get into number 4, spotting enemies more easily. So number 4 here is going to have 2 parts. The first part is going to be for PC players only, and then the second part is going to be for everyone. That's because the first thing I want to show you is FOV and the difference it makes when spotting enemies. So this is what most people are used to seeing when they're playing Modern Warfare, and this is what PC players can see if they max out their FOV, which is what I do when I'm playing on PC. So the difference is 80 FOV, and then the second shot was 120 FOV. And if you're used to playing on controller and you want this advantage, you can plug a controller into your PC and play that way this year. The controller support is really good. The next thing I want to show you guys, and this is for everyone, is motion blur. So the first clip there had motion blur on, the second clip has motion blur off. Let's take a closer look at what that does. So here's a freeze frame of the motion blur clip, and as you can see, there's a lot of blur that would prevent you from potentially seeing enemies as you're moving quickly and navigating around the map as a sniper. I was using a controller on 16:16 sensitivity to demonstrate here, which is a very normal sensitivity for a sniper. In Call of Duty, you tend to run a higher sensitivity as a sniper so you can quickscope better. And that means by turning motion blur off, you're gonna get significantly less blur because the blur occurs at high speeds as you're looking left and right. And you definitely do not want that if you're trying to spot enemies as you're moving around the map. So go into your graphic settings and make sure you're turning off those post-processing effects, which I'll show you how to do here. By the way, guys, if you've caught this video on the first day when it went up, I am in the middle of a charity live stream on twitch.tv. I'll put my Twitch handle on the screen now. And this charity live stream benefits BC Children's Hospital, so it goes towards kids that need critical treatments, healthcare services, pediatric and medical equipment, charitable care, that sort of thing. So if you are available to come by, I'd really appreciate it, even if you can't donate. And then if you could donate, it goes directly to sick kids in hospitals, and it's greatly appreciated. So I'll drop the link in the pinned comment down below if you want to come check it out. And I do live stream on twitch.tv quite regularly, so you can also just come by, drop me a follow if you'd like to see my future live streams on twitch.tv. All right, now let's get into countering campers as a sniper. So I've been hearing a lot of people complaining about how campy this game is, that people don't really move in this game, and that that they're always sitting in corners and stuff like that. I don't think I've ever heard as many people complaining about camping in Call of Duty. So I thought I'd give you guys a little recommendation as to my take on it, how I deal with campers, and it has a lot to do with how I'm moving around the map. So the clips on the screen here are just, you know, running around the map. I'm playing on Hackney Yard, and what you'll notice is I never really shoot people head on. It's pretty much always in the back or from the side, and it has to do with the way that I'm moving around the map. So the enemies very rarely see me. I'm usually shooting people who are unaware that I'm looking at them. So a crucial part in being able to do this is to play objective game modes. So domination, headquarters, those are great game modes to do this in. I actually like search and destroy in this game quite a bit as well, but you'll notice that because of the way that the flags are positioned and the way the enemies need to move, you'll know how you can move around the map in a way that you're going to be shooting those opponents in the back the majority of the time. And it's just because I'm looking at my own positioning, my team's positioning, and where the enemy should be based on that. So I'm a lot of times kind of behind enemy lines. You can see right there, the last two players that I killed, I was behind enemy lines. They were looking, you know, the opposite direction of me. And so I was able to come up and get easy kills on them. It's pretty rare that I'm shooting people head on. And if I do, I usually try to avoid those gunfights. I'll often back off, reposition, get into a spot where I can actually continue shooting people who are not looking at me. And it makes it much more enjoyable to play this game when you're not dying to people who are laying down, sitting in a window, sitting in a corner or something like that, and getting the jump on you by not moving. So I hope you guys kind of appreciate the insight on that. Let me know if you have any questions or if you have any tips that you'd like to share for the next episode of Sniper Secrets. Drop a comment down below letting me know what you'd like me to talk about next. If you'd like to support higher effort videos like this, where there's some testing involved and some analysis and stuff like that, please drop a like rating on the video. It's greatly appreciated and it encourages me to do more. It only takes 2 seconds to hit that like button and I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much to all those who are able to like the video. I'll leave a playlist on the screen now that you can check out if you'd like to watch more of my stuff. It's a playlist going through a whole bunch of old Call of Duty games, playing all the old ones, Call of Duty 1, Call of Duty 2, Call of Duty 3, Call of Duty 4, that type of thing, going all the way up. So I hope you guys enjoy that, and I'll see you guys soon with a new video. Peace.